Hey, it's me again. Yeah, girl. I did change the scenery. We are now in my room. It is a little messy, I know. The lighting actually is better in here, so I think from now on I'm gonna start doing it in my room. We'll see how this goes. But anyway, welcome to my room. I'm sorry it's a mess. Today is actually going to be a little bit different, and it's probably actually going to be a little bit shorter because I'm taking a listener story. And it's not long, but I will update you on a little life update. So recently I've decided to go back into my modeling and acting. That being said, if something like that does take off, which I'm very doubtful, right now I'm just starting off with commercials and extra work, meaning like I'm gonna be in movies, but I'll just be an extra. I'm also still working. I'm gonna have to balance that and working while also being a mom, while also going back to school. What the hell am I doing with my life? In the words of Alexander Hamilton, actually, did he say that? Or was that just Lin-Manuel? In the words of Lin-Manuel Miranda as Hamilton, I will never be satisfied. So today's story comes from one of my listeners who wants to remain anonymous. I'm also going to be reading it from their point of view. So instead of me reading it like me giving information like I usually do, I'm actually going to read it like straight off their email. The following event took place when I was 16 years old. A few notes before diving into my story. At this point in my life, I was into pretty dark things without going into too much detail. Naturally, I drew a lot of dark energies, beings or whatever you want to call them, to me. Also, my room at the time was pitch black. Tinfoil over the windows, as if you were to sit in your room with the lights off and your eyes closed. That was my room, but with your eyes opened. You couldn't even see your hand, even if it was a few inches from your face. It's also worth mentioning that my closet at the time didn't have any doors, so it was wide open, 24/7. Wow, my eyebrows are shit. Moving forward, it was like any typical school night. I was getting ready for bed. At this point in time, I had a chihuahua that slept in my room, usually in her own bed by mine. Anyways, I called her into my room to get ready, but as she walked in, she didn't go straight for her bed, which should have been the first red flag, as she never hesitated before. She got about halfway into my room and just stood there, almost frozen. I, at that time, didn't think anything of it. What am I doing? I truly don't know, but we'll get there. I picked her up, placed her in her bed, got into mine, and then turned off my bedside lamp. Not even a minute later, I heard her little paws clicking on the tile floor in my room. So I clicked my light back on. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't plan these ahead of time. This is a mess, but it's alright. At this point, she was sitting by my bedroom door and looking at it. Second red flag. I just want to point out that in no way am I a professional makeup artist. I don't do makeup every day, and I am learning. I'm okay. I'm good, not great. I called her and she turned to look at me, but she wouldn't budge. Before I made the video, I literally prayed to the liner gods above, please let me get this perfect fucking wing. And here I am, living my best life, with the best wing, with crappy eyeshadow. So I got up and put her back in her bed. I then tried to go to sleep myself. She did this 2 or 3 more times, each time waiting by the door. Finally, I gave up and opened my door, to which she ran out of the bedroom like no tomorrow. Third red flag. Still not thinking much about it, I picked up her bed and placed it outside of my room. Actually, looking back at this, I kind of like the colors I went with. This is really pretty now. I closed my door and tried to go back to sleep. I turned off the light and laid back down. Within a few minutes, or at least that's what it felt like, I hear a deep guttural growling. I thought I heard something, but I'm home alone. This story is giving me goosebumps, honestly. Like, it's my dog. A growl that sounded like if it came from a big animal, which again, we only had a chihuahua. I opened my eyes and I followed the sound. It was coming from my closet, the one without a door. Not only did I notice this, but I also noticed two big ruby red glowing eyes coming from there. No pupils, just big red eyes staring right at me. And I knew there were eyes because, well, they were blinking and they kept blinking, like blinking. The growling continued as I slowly lifted up from my bed and continued to look back. I thought I was tripping and I kept rubbing my eyes just to see if it would go away. I even got out of bed to check my windows to see if there were any holes in the tinfoil. Unsurprisingly enough, there were no holes. I backed up into my bed and just sat there, staring at it. I sat there for a good minute. I forgot to mention that even though it was pitch black in my room, I was still somehow able to see the outline of this thing. As in, I can tell that it was sitting on all fours, hunched over. The eyes were roughly 3 feet off the floor. Now, me being the person I was at the time, I did the best logical thing I could think of. I rolled over and fell asleep. I later learned through a friend at the time that chances are it's what is known as the black dog or a hellhound. It's by definition, and I'm reading this straight off the page, a nocturnal apparition, in some cases a shapeshifter, and often said to be associated with the devil or described as a ghost or supernatural hellhound. Its appearance was regarded as a portent of death or even disaster. I have also heard that it is an omen that one is going down a dangerous road and that is basically a sign to turn back before it's too late. I guess I made the right choices thereafter, as I never crossed paths with one ever again. And I really hope you never cross paths with another one. Ever. Ever. That's a scary story. It gives me the goosebumps. I know a lot about hellhounds. I know a lot of weird, creepy things. Yeah, that's something you don't mess around with, especially hellhounds, because they will literally grab you and drag you straight to hell. My colors don't match, but it is what it is. I do everything half-assed. Okay guys, so if you want to go ahead and send me your stories as well, you definitely can. You can send them directly to my email at Brittany, BRITTANY.acosta, ACOSTA, 201294@gmail.com. I do get to those, and I am working on a separate email where I can take those viewer requests, but right now I'm not getting many. And I will cover them. I actually enjoy doing viewer requests because I don't really have to research, and that's what takes me a long time, is researching. But I'll still do my normal thing that I usually do. But I would love to tell your stories. I say this all the time. Don't be afraid. I can do things anonymously, as I did today. And other than that, thank you for joining me. I know this is probably a boring channel, but I feel like with my viewer requests, it's gonna be a little bit more fun. It doesn't matter how long it is. I will cut some things out, so it's not gonna be all the way true to the story, but I'm gonna not leave out the juicy parts, obviously. Other than that, I hope you have a great week, and stay tuned for my Halloween edition one. It will come out on Halloween. That one is coming. I am doing the research for it, and I'm so excited because it's long and extensive, and I've been researching it for actually 3 months now. That's that. Thank you guys. Bye.